All right, welcome everyone to our fourth Fake Nerds Watch for Star Trek Picard. I'm Brandon T. McClure. Joined on this trek through this new series is Michael Karls. Joining me, Michael Karls from the Downright Nerdy Podcast. How are you today?
Doing great, man. Thanks again for having me on. Having a great time watching Picard and talking about it with you.
Yeah, as we are recording this, you've just recorded your 50th episode.
Yes, we did. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Didn't think we'd get this far, but yeah, it's been a fun ride.
I remember when we did 50, we postponed our review of The Mummy.
Which the Tom Cruise Mummy?
Yeah.
Oh, probably for the best. Didn't want to do something on a negative note, I guess.
Well, we wanted to do it drunk.
Oh, okay. That's probably the only way to enjoy it.
Yeah, probably. So we all got drunk and we reviewed it, and then my cat's stretching in front of me right now. But we didn't really work out too well. But we were like, hey, it's 50. Let's drink, do whatever. So,
yeah. Well, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. And I mean, I've told you guys about this several times, but you guys were an inspiration for us to start our own podcast. So, man, thank you. So it's been nice sharing this journey with you.
It gets a little easier after 50 to keep going.
Oh, I hope so.
once you pass that first year of like, okay, now we kind of got a groove, got a rhythm. 3 years blows by.
Yeah, we definitely have gotten into this little groove, and it's exciting. It's been pretty fun. I'm looking forward to what the future holds.
Anyway, speaking of the future, let's talk about Star Trek Picard. This is the fourth episode.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this one?
Yeah, more setup.
Definitely more setup.
More setup again. It's nice to be off Earth.
Yeah.
And it takes us to the Romulan, I guess. What would you call that type of what do they call
relocation outpost?
A relocation outpost, right?
Yeah.
They don't really give too much of a background as to like a specific location where this outpost is, but apparently there's a group of Romulans there that he tried to help during the I guess the rescue mission, and let's see, like part of the group there that helped him. I can't remember the name of that group of all female Romulans. But they are like, they're not quite super assassins, but they're a group of people that take on impossible tasks, essentially, right?
I get the impression they're like warrior nuns.
Yeah, they actually, I think they use the term warrior nuns. However, so it was another flashback, a 14-year ago flashback. That's where we started off at, right?
See, so this is the first episode of Picard directed by Jonathan Frakes.
I saw that and I got really excited.
Yeah. If you want some good Star Trek, Jonathan Frakes is the guy to call.
Exactly.
But this is also the first time that I actually felt like this was Captain Picard. I've had an issue since the series started where I didn't quite feel, and I haven't really mentioned it on here, but I haven't really felt that he is the same Picard. It just kind of felt like it kind of felt too detached, but watching this episode, especially the flashbacks, and especially when he like takes off the sign and just sits down in that restaurant, like I'm like, okay, I see him again. This is Captain Picard.
Well, I mean, that just goes to show the relationship between Jonathan Frakes and him, right? As a director and as a former co-star.
My cat agrees.
Right?
It's hazards of recording in my apartment.
It's good.
But anyway, yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. It's the combination of the two of them. He's also happy in the flashbacks, which is something. Okay, buddy, you need to move. Ow. He's also happy in the flashbacks, which is something we haven't seen him be in a while.
Yeah.
He's got a purpose. I really liked this episode, and this is the first episode that I really liked.
I don't think it's any coincidence that the first episode that we like is directed by Frakes.
I don't think so either. It's also the first one written by only one person. The first three were written by 2 or 3 people each.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this one was written by Michael Chabon, directed by
who has some history.
Yeah, who had directed by Jonathan Frakes. Like this one felt like a cohesive kind of part. But we don't really get a lot of information outside of we're introduced to Elnor, right?
Elnor, yes.
Elnor, the Romulan samurai that we've seen in the trailers.
I kept on wanting to say Elrond.
Yeah, a little bit Elrond. Yeah. I really liked him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And
I'm really liking the crew.
His character is interesting. He's the only male in this all-female type of assassin nun group that Picard asked them to look after until he could find a home. But then once Mars was attacked by the synths, he wasn't able to ever go back to that planet.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was a father figure to this kid, in the flashback, teaching him reading to him, teaching him how to fence, things of that nature. So that you could right off the bat, we could tell that they had a deep kind of relationship.
Yeah, and Elnor felt hurt that Picard never came back.
Yes, exactly. And this group of Romulans, they're a little bit more. They're different than the other Romulans in the sense
they don't have secrets.
They don't have secrets. They speak in complete candor. In essence, there's almost zero filter between thought and word.
Yeah,
is how he put it.
So I really like these guys. One of the things I really appreciated is that the female Romulans, they're not mad at Picard for never coming back. They're like, all right, we get it.
Yeah,
we understand. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here now.
However, I really appreciate that aren't.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of Romulans that are really not happy to see Picard again. And I really like that.
I don't know if you noticed this one. I mean, he had no speaking lines, but they panned over him a couple of times in that little bar at the end. He was one of the Romulans. He looked older. He looked almost exactly like Sarek from the Vulcan Sarek. I don't know if you noticed him. I was like, I'm wondering if maybe they grabbed somebody who was a Romulan. What were their captains called?
Captains.
No. The Romulans. Huh?
No, not Praetor. It
wasn't Praetor. Praetor is like their main president guy.
I
can't remember. Was it Gull? No, that's Cardassian.
No, that's Cardassian.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not
100%. It's not Praetor. Praetor is the name of their like a Romulan leader.
No, I know, but I think it's Captain. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, it might be either or, but there's somebody in there that looked super familiar, and I couldn't put my tongue on it. Either or. I think
it's just Captain.
Yeah, maybe it is. Okay. So 14 years later, Picard essentially he tells his crew that he wants to go back to this planet to not only ask for help, but almost to kind of like mend things with this kid. It sounds like, right?
Well, he doesn't think that the kid's still there.
That's right. Yeah, he doesn't think he's still there, but it's still. I mean, he tells Rafi like, this is probably the last chance I'll ever get to come this way in the galaxy. So it's something he just had to do.
Yeah. Because he's pretty sure that he's not going to make it out of this mission alive.
I mean, he doesn't think that almost anybody will, because that's the whole reason why he's assembling this type of crew, this little ragtag type of crew of people who don't really care about him, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, real quick, what's the captain's name of the ship? Rios.
Yes, Rios.
I love him.
He is quickly becoming one of my favorites.
His EMA, he's emergency hologram programs.
All his hologram programs are great.
His emergency tactical hologram, who's just Spanish.
Yeah,
I love it. Every single time we meet a new hologram from him, I'm super into it.
I think that's a really great twist to the hologram kind of thing, like a personalized hologram for each captain.
Yeah,
so that's a really neat concept that I'm glad to see.
Well, I also really like it kind of expanding on, because we saw the potential emergency command hologram in Voyager because we did a lot of EMH programs. So I really like the idea that the emergency hologram program got so developed that we now just have like a whole ship can be run by emergency holograms if need be. I really like that. It's a really nice like step, a really nice progression from where we last left this era.
It's kind of interesting. I'm like all the the whole world or the whole Federation is like are worried about synths, and meanwhile, like these ships are actually becoming synths themselves because they're able to control every little aspect of a ship's day to day needs. It's kind of funny.
I'd really like to see Robert Picardo back.
Oh, that would be kind of neat.
Speaking of Voyager, though, 7 of 9.
7 of 9 comes up out of nowhere, literally saves Picard's ship. I'm wondering if she had to have known it was Picard because of all the transmissions that were going out once the Romulans kind of spotted her, and that's why she sacrificed her ship to save her. Save him, right?
I'm sure she did. In that battle, we see an old Romulan bird of prey.
Yeah,
from the TOS era.
Kind of neat.
I love that.
Era. Yeah, that was neat. It was funny how they talked about it being like very primitive. Oh, it's kind of funny.
I always like when we see like old, like Enterprise did this when they did the Mirror Universe episodes where we see the Defiant and they're wearing and they're like, look at this futuristic technology, and it's just cardboard plastic and
right
whatever. And so I always like when Star Trek contextualizes its future. That ship is small.
Yeah, it's very small. It's it's essentially like a personalized yacht, right? Kind of like a. I
guess so, but it's got a holodeck.
I mean,
like, that's a small ship.
Like sacrificing quarters for a holodeck.
I really like. It's funny that they found a way to keep They were like, we built the set, we might as well keep it around.
Right,
so like, Picard has a hologram of his office,
and that makes more sense now too, because in the previews of Picard, a month ago now, we saw 7 of 9 talking to Picard, which in what looks like his study or something like that. So now we're that's pretty much where we're going to see 7 of 9 in that scene now.
I still love Allison Pill. I still love her. I'm really excited to see 7 of 9. I really liked Elnor. We should talk about I think you and I are on the same page. I don't care about Soji.
Nothing happened.
No, I really
they went ice skating. They went sock skating on a Borg cube. That was about it. And he's still talking about how he can't like get the information from her. That's been happening for 4 episodes now, and I could care less.
He and his sister are.
I almost thought, like, are they like? I forgot that they were brother and sister in this episode.
They're like siblings, I think, because they get way closer than any.
They get way too close.
They are textbook evil.
Yeah,
and it's kind of parody at this point.
It almost transcends parody into being almost offensive, like to the point where like they're like, okay, here's my evil master plan. Where are you in your master plan? Okay, if you don't get this done in 1 week, I'm gonna give you 1 week, one more episode, and then if you're not done by then is when I'm gonna enact my master plan of what did she say, blood and violence or something?
Like that. I don't care.
Okay, whatever. Go back to Picard. This is like if all the Soji scenes were cut out of the past 3 episodes, nothing would change, and I think I would actually like the show a little bit more.
I think so too. I think you could cut the amount of episodes we have in half.
Yeah,
and just cutting out all of Soji's bits, and like you can cut all of her scenes into 1 episode.
Yes, yeah.
And have that be the episode that we like, oh, this is the reveal of where she is and what's going on with her. But for now, I feel like we should just be on Picard's journey with Picard. We shouldn't have information that Picard doesn't have.
Why we're watching it, right?
Right. But we as the audience are cued into where Soji is while watching Picard trying to figure out where it is. I would much rather be on the journey with Picard and not know where Soji is.
I mean, I do understand. A lot of TV shows nowadays, they like to focus on two main characters and their journey towards the culmination of those two stories being intertwined, right? But
Sure.
in order to do that, you need to make both of them interesting enough to watch. And right now, we only got one half of that coin. The other half, we don't care about.
Yeah, but the more I see about Picard's story, the more I'm invested, the more I'm interested in where it's going.
Luckily, I think you're in the same boat. Luckily for us is that the Picard storyline is so intriguing and so interesting that it allows us to be like, okay, whatever with Solji or Sogi.
I legitimately block out the Soji bits. I'm just like, oh, time to be on my phone for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, almost right. I mean, it's
and I shouldn't feel that way. I should be invested in what's happening with Soji, like I was invested with what was happening with Daj. I think a lot of the Zhat Vash stuff is interesting. I think the Borg Cube stuff is interesting. But we don't get enough of the Borg Cube day to day, and we're just focused on whatever is happening. What is his plan?
You know what would have been a little bit more interesting now that we've gotten 4 episodes under our belt? It would have been interesting to see, like, okay, after Daj dies, what if Picard never found out about a twin? What if the rest of his mission was just to find Bruce Maddox, right? And then we don't even find, and then the second storyline of Soji, we don't see her until the end of the season, and the other half of the storyline is not based on Soji, but on Hugh instead. And then it would be a big reveal at the end when Picard meets Hugh again, and then hey, there's Soji right there after Bruce Maddox says like, hey, there's actually a second one. I made them in pairs.
That'd be interesting. I think I'd probably be more into that because I would rather I really want the show to focus more on what's happening in the Borg Cube and less on what Soji's relationship is with the Romulan. I forgot the Romulan's name.
Oh my god, I totally thought that our worst nightmare was going to come to fruition in this episode when they said like, oh, this is a Borg ritual. I'm like, oh, they're retconning Borg history. This is great.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we didn't want, and I totally called it. And thank God it was just him trying to seduce her or whatever. That I was happy about. I was like, thank God.
Oh, I know. Like for a moment, it was like, why would the Borg do this?
I was like, no. Okay, thank God.
But it was kind of a fun moment, but I just don't understand what this guy's plan is. What is his goal?
I mean,
what information is he trying to get?
I mean, if she doesn't know who she is, what is he? How does he plan on doing? Do you think she's just going to be like, all right, here's my socket. Go ahead and where's your flash drive? Let me download everything that I got, and then I'll self-destruct.
I really hope next week we get Bruce Maddox.
It almost looked like we do, right? In the sneak peek for the next episode. Is that who we saw? Like the bearded guy that was on the floor?
I think we're led to believe that. I don't know if it is.
Could be.
The actor is still not credited in the show. But I really hope that we don't drag out this Bruce Maddox thing for too long.
How many more episodes are there? 4 more? There's 8 total, right? Or 10? No,
there's 10. There's 10. So we're almost halfway through the season.
Halfway through the season. Wow. Well, I have a feeling next week is probably going to be more of just like 7 of 9, like why she's there.
Yeah, but we get a little bit of a they're going in disguise.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Fun. Yeah, this looks like this next episode. I'm interested in this next episode. It looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Do you know who's directing this episode?
I think it is also Jonathan Frakes. I think every director gets 2.
It looks like an old school TNG type of episode, and I'm thinking it wouldn't surprise me if Jonathan Frakes was a part of it.
You know what episode it reminds me of?
Huh.
Do you remember the episode where Picard, Data? Well, not Picard. Where Riker, Data, and Worf were stuck in the casino?
Oh yeah, that was a good.
Reminds me a little bit of that, and I'm kind of stoked for that.
Only they didn't get into costume; they just stayed in their uniforms.
True, but anytime I see a casino in Star Trek, I'm like, oh, that episode. It's one of my favorites.
The casino almost reminded me of the. It almost reminded me a little bit of Ready Player One kind of ish. Like everything's all looks like techno with people like having he's walking through the bar and like some dude has like a transparent wings or something like that. Did you remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It looks kind of
it is Jonathan Frakes.
good. I'm excited then.
It is directing.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I am too. I like Jonathan Frakes a lot.
Yeah.
You should watch The Librarians.
I know. I've been hearing good things about that.
I really enjoyed that show. It's all on Hulu.
You know what's funny is that a while back I thought I was going to start The Librarians, but for some reason I mixed up the names and I started watching The Magicians instead. Like somebody was all like, "Hey, you should watch this show," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll watch it." And for some reason I thought Magicians instead of Librarians, and I watched like the first season of that. I'm like, it's nothing like what you said it was going to be.
You gotta watch the movies for The Librarians first, by the way.
Movies first.
Yeah, there are 3 made-for-TV movies that are really good, and then they do 4 seasons of a TV show.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I really like that show. Anyway, that's enough gabbing about a different show. Are you watching Star Trek Discovery?
No, I'm not. I have not. I've gotten through the first season, and I never got to the second season.
Okay, because I'm going through the first season right now. Because again, like we mentioned before on the show, need to make that $5.99 a month worth it.
Right, exactly. And I have not been taking advantage of it at all.
Yeah, so I figured I'd finally start. I finished Lock and Key, which I really enjoyed.
No spoilers, please.
Then don't listen to next week's episode of the show.
Okay. I'll try to binge.
Because that's what we're talking about next. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to. So I was like, well, I need to start a new show. So I figured I'd go back to Discovery and try to make that worth it. Because I'm committed to this to the streaming service till the end of Picard. So.
Okay. Cool. How have you been enjoying Discovery?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm engaged.
Getting
in the story
better, or just staying plateauing, or up and down.
I will say it does have a progressive increase in quality.
Oh, that's good.
Every episode doesn't seem to get worse. It does seem to get better, but it starts really low for me. So it's kind of got a long ways to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Picard. What else can we talk about with this one? It was a lot of setup. I did really enjoy how he tells Elnor's story. But
about Data and how he used to talk about Spot back in the day, and
I like
he's never seen a cat. He's like, "Oh, you may see 1 or 2 along the way if you decide to do this with me." I
think Picard was a little wrong in trying to get Elnor the way he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think Elnor was like, "Do you want me to be on this because you miss me, you like me?" But he's like, "No, I need someone young." I was like, dude, you read the room.
Yeah, it seemed very cliched, right?
Yeah,
almost like it almost seemed kind of like the stereotypical bad guy of the on the flip side on the
just to talk about, like, I don't mind cliche. Star Trek plays with cliches a lot, and I don't mind it. It's when it's done badly that I mind it, and that's what I think is happening with the Jat Vash stuff. I think that's bad cliche.
Why can't I remember that? I gotta write that down.
Jat Vash. And the Elnor stuff had the potential to be good cliche, but they just didn't play into it right, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, I really just think that if Picard had just been like, I have a lot of regret from what happened with you, and I would like you to come on this journey with me because I missed you.
He probably would have said yes right then and there.
Yeah. But instead he was like, no, I need someone young. I need someone who's going to fight for me.
But if he didn't say that, then we wouldn't get to see a little sneak peek of how good of a warrior he is when he went to save Picard against the other Romulans. Yeah.
That was a good sequence.
It was cool. That kind of the fight part kind of came out of nowhere. I like how I really like how he got mad at him at the end.
Yeah.
That was very Picard of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't take a life unless I tell you to.
Yeah. Or not even if you tell. I mean, like, unless it's like absolutely imperative, like it's like last case scenario, like you got to destroy this person in front of you who's trying to destroy you. You know?
Yeah.
But
I really.
He could have just got right in front of him and would have been like, now would be a good time to have your ship beam us up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like that action sequence. Mainly because I like seeing Picard. He takes off the sign. He sits down. He's like, I want want to drink, and then he gets to fight. It's like I get to finally see, like, look, he's 99 years old. He's not going to get into an action sequence, but I like that he can still hold his own.
Yeah.
He's not as frail as we were led to believe.
Yeah. I mean, he still was able to do that quick one little move before he threw his sword down too.
Yeah. Because the point is that he wasn't going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to fight. He never does. He wants this to be resolved peacefully. But he had no choice because his former senator got it out for him.
Yeah. I mean,
there's not a lot of meat on this episode.
Not a lot, right?
But I did enjoy it. I did. For me, this fixed the problem of is this still recognizably Jean-Luc Picard? And I think this answered yes. Yes, it is still Jean-Luc Picard.
I mean, we saw a lot of Jonathan Frakes injecting that into this episode, especially when he's in the hologram. He's like, come, you know?
Yeah.
And then he would just a couple of his little lines that we're kind of familiar with him.
How he took command on the bridge.
Yes, exactly. That too. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, this is not my bridge. You after he was like, okay, yeah, beam him up. Even bored.
Yeah, I did really like that. You get that issue when you have. I don't mean to bring Star Wars, but the most thing I could think of, a lot of people don't think that Luke Skywalker acts like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and not to get into that whole argument, but I do think that there is a protectiveness to that fans have to characters, that they have the version of the character that is in their head. It needs to be protected at all costs a lot of the time, and that's admirable when it comes to fans. I truly believe that. So when you get something new with the same character but different writer, you end up thinking to yourself, is this the character I recall? Is this the character I remember? You get that a lot with comic books also. If Superman is written by Dan Jurgens in one book and Brian Michael Bendis in another book, and they don't sound like the same Superman, you start to wonder, like, which one's my Superman? Is either my Superman? Well, I think you have that issue with that's why I had that issue with Picard. I'm like, is this my Picard? Is this still the Picard I know?
But so with that theory the one thing that Picard has over a Luke Skywalker and over comic books is that, one, we have the same character coming back to play him. I mean, yeah, we had it with Mark Hamill, but this is a big reason why I always have been a firm believer in Star Trek being made for TV, not for movies, is that TV allows you to have much more of a malleable storytelling ability over the course of several episodes to tell what type of character this or what type of personality changes or anything has happened over a certain time period, over a period of seasons. It allows more time to really get to know this character all over again. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think by that logic, Star Trek doesn't work as event television. I think it works a lot better as episodic television. Which is the issue that we come into with an episode like this, where it is good and it does fix an issue I have, but not a lot happens.
But I mean, I feel like if you're going to do it like this, it should be the entire season should have been released all at once.
Yeah,
it probably would be better to binge this type of storytelling arc, right? As opposed to being, if it's not going to be episodic, then if you're going to tell like a one story over a course of several episodes, just release them all. Then we probably would actually like it a lot more.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't like the binge formula, so but I do think that with something like, well, you know what? Here's a good example of what you're saying. So Daredevil, everyone loves Daredevil, right? Mm-hmm. Daredevil's a great show. The first season is incredible. The first season lags in the middle, but nobody really cares about that because you keep going through, but the middle is done in like 2 hours. You don't feel that lag.
And I almost feel like if that was a weekly release for Daredevil, you might have lost some viewers over those two or three episodes in the middle.
Possibly. Or the writers had to make those episodes stronger.
Maybe, but I mean, we're seeing it right now here in Picard. Where I mean, yeah, maybe it is. We're seeing it in Picard because while nothing happened here, this has probably been the most enjoyable episode that we've had, right?
Yeah, it has for me. I really enjoyed this episode.
So,
but I'm excited for the next week.
Yes. Definitely excited. 7 of 9 is here. We get more characters we know and love coming back.
I really hope 7 sticks around for a long time.
So do I. I love her. I love 7 of 9. I love Jerry Ryan. I've met her in person. She's one of the nicest people I've actually ever met, next to Marina Sirtis. I mean, those two go hand in hand as like some of the sweetest people I've actually met, celebrity-wise.
I met Marina Sirtis as well.
Yeah, super nice.
I met her at Comic-Con. I've met her, Brent Spiner, Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner.
I've met William Shatner. It was towards the end of the day, and I think he was tired.
I think I've met LeVar Burton. I don't remember. I have to look at my signatures. Yeah, a lot of Star Trek vets I've met. But Marina Sirtis was delightful. She was shocked that I even knew the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, "You're so young. How'd you know the show?" I was like, I watched it when I was a kid. And it's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" I'm like, "Yeah." She was really nice though. I can't wait to see Riker and Troy.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that. But we're getting further and further from Earth, which makes me wonder where they are at. I'm leaning towards Beta Z.
I think you're absolutely right. They're on Beta Z.
Yeah.
As soon as we left Earth in the 3rd episode, I was like, "That's where they are. That's where they are."
Yeah.
We're gonna drop by Beta Z. And it makes sense that Riker would
I wonder
go.
what the purpose though of stopping by there is going to be.
Need help? Some friendly advice? It's in the neighborhood.
He's gonna need he needs something though, or maybe you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it'll be just like the same thing for this. Like, hey, I may never be in this part I may never have a chance to come back here again. I might as well, go now while it's right here.
I think it's more than that. I think he's going to get shaken from his mission. He's going to question if he should be on the mission.
He'll need reassurance from someone who he trusts, and he reassurance from his family.
I think that's what's going to happen. Is he's going to come to Riker and Troy, and they're going to tell him like, you got to keep going. You got to see this through.
Or he's going to get shaken. He's not going to want to go to anybody, but Rafi will probably take him to them.
Maybe.
I could see that happening more. He will get taken there because I think he might have too much pride to go to him himself if he's so shaken.
It could be. Either way, I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well,
I mean, there's not a lot of meat, so I guess we're
done.
done.
That was it. But I mean, it was good. It was, I mean, all in all, I think this ranks as number 1 now for me in
me too.
Which episode I like the best. I think that's strongly due to Jonathan Frakes. He is. You said he is confirmed the next episode's director as well.
Yeah, he is directing the next episode.
Makes me more excited for next episode. We see more Picard. Overall, still happy with this. Still happy I paid the $5.99, and I'm still on board.
Yeah, I am the same way. I'm excited for the next week. I'm glad to be watching Captain Picard again on screens. Just can't wait to see. It's just really interesting to see where this goes. They need to pick up the Soji plotline because that is getting ridiculous.
Yes, it's. I don't know how much more we can stretch this piece of pasta before it snaps.
I don't think much longer because I'm honestly getting to the point where I'm just going to fast forward next time I see it because I'm like I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest gripe is that the plot line with Soji and the Borg needs to pick up pace.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
But I guess that'll do it.
We'll find out. We'll find out next week. We'll find out in a few days.
So that'll do it for this episode of Fake Nerds Watch Star Trek Picard. A little short this time. No shame in that.
Not at all. Sweet. Love it.
If you guys are subscribed to this channel, thank you. If you are not, feel free to click like and subscribe and the bell icon to let you know when the next episode is coming. We don't know what our next Fake Nerd Watch series will be as of yet. That will be the main 3 of who normally does this series, but it is coming. You can find me otherwise on the Fake Nerd Podcast. We are putting up an episode right now. We're a little behind. This is a little behind, so right now there will be a Lock and Key episode out, but we have yet to record that. We just recorded our Sonic the Hedgehog review. So there's that. Michael, you just did your 50th.
Yeah, just re-released our 50th episode this past weekend, and we'll be releasing a new giveaway video on YouTube. It's a big one, so make sure you guys check it out. Everybody's going to have a chance to enter in and get a chance to win some awesome comic books, graded, both raw and graded, figurines, books on trade, pieces of artwork. It's a whole big thing, and it's really it's quite ridiculous what we're giving away. So yeah, be sure to check out that video. It should be up now, so check it out.
Exciting. We will link. I'll try to remind Sparks to link that in the below.
Cool. All right.
In the description below. And all your information.
If not, just check out Downright Nerdy Podcast on all your favorite podcasting apps, on Instagram, and on YouTube.
You are definitely going to want to subscribe to them on YouTube. All that information will be down below as well. Downright Nerdy Podcast. Subscribe to us, Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Michael, be on the internet says otherwise. Downright Nerdy, right?
That's it.
That's it. All right, then until next time, guys, live long and prosper.